Dear Father in heaven, thank you for the opportunity that we have to learn. And as we learn these things, allow us to put it in practice and not only help ourselves, but help others that are also in need. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, this is a wonderful class because I had firsthand experience with people using wheatgrass. And wheatgrass, it's just a grass, just like grass that you see outside. But this is the shoot out of the wheat plant, the wheat seed. Now, something that you're going to learn, and I'm not going to go into details about sprouting. So far today, no one understands how in that seed, any seed, in order to sprout, it needs all the minerals and all the vitamins in order to sprout. Once it sprouts and it starts growing, it starts losing all those minerals, all those vitamins. So at that point in time where it starts to grow, the seed needs all the nutrients it needs, and it just has the most, it's as nutritious as it can get once it starts sprouting. In other words, what I'm trying to get to is that, this is not depending on the soil for nutrients, so you can get it. You could plant wheatgrass in a table, okay? As long as you can contain it from going all over the place, you could plant it in a table. You don't have to have soil to plant it because it's not getting nutrients from the soil. It is the seed that is the key here. Okay? So understood that. I want to get that clear because once we go back to the demonstration, I want you to understand that it's not the soil that matters. It is the seed itself. And the better the seed, the better chances you got for growing this product. It is very simple. Don't think it's too complicated. I'm doing it for a lot of people here, so it's a little bit different. I'm going to try to make it so that you can adjust it to your home. But I have had people here that are as clueless as they get. They just have no clue of anything. And they're sending me pictures of growing wheatgrass. So it's very, very simple. Okay, don't be overwhelmed by the information. Now, why wheatgrass? Well, what is wheatgrass? It's the young grass of the common wheat plant. It is the third life form of earth. Okay, you could look in the Bible why that is. Now, it is therapeutic juice. So you drink a little bit of that juice. You have to squeeze that juice. And you could use it to create you could drink it in. But most likely, if you drink too much of it, the reaction is very strong. Huh? I told you. Yes, that's right. I told you this morning about clemencia. It is very strong. So in case you have a condition that you need to get wheatgrass, there is colon implants. Basically, we have here a syringe, big syringe, and a fine tube that you could just do an implant in, just like an enema would be. Now, you don't want to do an enema with wheatgrass, okay? Enemas is just a lot of water that rushing into your colon. That's not the point of what we want to. Right when after the anus, in the colon area, there is something called a portal vein. And this portal vein goes straight to your liver. So you want to have just a little bit and hold it there so you could get all the nutrients straight to your liver. Now, I mentioned that this green chlorophyll, it is exactly as your blood. It looks the same components as if you look at it in a microscope, it would be like your blood. The only difference is that the cells, the chlorophyll molecule, inside the molecule there's a magnesium molecule. In blood, it is an iron molecule in your red blood cells. So it's the only difference. You could use it in your skin, hair, eyes. So basically you could, make the juice and put it in your hair to get better hair, looking hair. You could use it for the skin. I mean, there's people that have places in the United States that they just go for spa for just getting in wheatgrass. It's a natural cleaner. There's products and all these things. Now, benefits. I'm not going to go into all the benefits because it's a lot, but if you want me, I can print them for you if you're interested in these things. I have no problem in doing that. Yeah, just let me know after, and I'll do that. It's rich in all the vitamins and most of the vitamins, but it's rich in all the minerals. It has all the minerals available today that we know of. They're in wheatgrass, and that's why it's so powerful. Stimulate the thyroid gland, helps with obesity, indigestions, and a bunch of other things. Restores alkalinity, detoxifies your body, fights tumors, and neutralizes toxins. And I talk about the experience I had with a friend of mine with cancer on this, and it was very successful, very successful. And not only that, I've seen it here too. I've seen, how the person changed just by drinking wheatgrass or using wheatgrass implant. It's very, very powerful. It's full of enzymes, and I am going to okay, how to use wheatgrass. And here are the different ways of using wheatgrass. The most important thing is how to grow it, and that's where I want to get to that point quickly. You will use 1 ounce to 2 ounces per shot. No more than that, okay? Because it's very strong, as I mentioned again. So 1 to 2 ounces every shot. That's all you can do. You could go higher, and you could do a couple times during the day. And once you juice this grass, in around 15 minutes, you should drink it before 15-minute time frame because it oxidizes and you don't want to damage the effects. Now, the implants you could do 2 ounces or more, and I would say if somebody needs implants, they would use 2 ounces and dilute them with 2 ounces of water. So you dilute it with water, you take the syringe, and then you just do the implants. You could also do poultices with them. So you would use the wheatgrass, and you could mix it up with something like flaxseed meal or marshmallow root powder, or you can mix it up with something that creates even flour or something to create a poultice with, like cornstarch. You could use cornstarch, would be really good. Yeah, something like that. You could mix it up with that and create a poultice. If you have a tumor somewhere and you place it on the tumor, it's really effective too, to heal and because it's very, very, very alkaline. Now, in order to grow the wheatgrass, you need to use red hard winter wheat. That is the wheat that we recommend. Red hard winter wheat. You could do it with any other type of wheat, but this is much easier to grow. And at first time, until you get the hang of it, it's usually better to go with the easiest thing. The seeds they don't cost that much. I think we have them here for like $3 a pound, but you can find it around the same price or a little bit more somewhere else. So it's not very expensive. Soil. The reason you use soil is because when you wet these seeds, you want them to be soaked, but you don't want them to be overflowing or swimming on water, okay? You want the soil to drain so that it takes a little bit of that moisture away, so it doesn't get moldy. Like if you live in places that it's hot, one of the problems is the mold that it grows on it. And once you get mold, the mold actually don't allow the plant to grow very well. So it just stops the growth. For example, I had a problem here while the weather was still warm and it gets cold, because it's warm and all of a sudden it gets cold. It doesn't really transition that much. I had a problem where, it got cold enough that it wasn't growing, it was not germinating. So then I put it on the oven of the other kitchen, which just the pilot on, right? So I put it on top of the stove, and I covered it, and it was very moist because it was kind of warm. And I tried to grow it. It was probably last month. I tried to grow it, and it didn't grow very well because it got all moldy. So I wasted a lot of time just taking care when it didn't germinate, and I should have thrown it away right away. Once you see the mold, there's some things you could do, and this is for people that live in very hot areas. You could use hydrogen peroxide. So you take hydrogen peroxide, you could spray it with your water. You could take ozonated water or probably hydrogenated water and use that water instead. You can use cinnamon oil with water. Cinnamon is very antioxidant and an antioxidant. It also kills bacteria, antibacterial. And no.
Back to soil, what type would you suggest, like regular potting soil?
That's a good question. I use here coconut coir because it drains very easily. But you could use regular soil from the garden that you have, or potting soil.
Can you hydro grow it? Can you hydro grow it?
Yes, you can grow it that way. Well, no, if it's wet all the time, it would get really moldy. But you could grow it like in a plate. Put the seeds in there and let them sprout, and they will grow also. They will grow very easy. I mean, I've done it here, so I know. You don't need soil. The good thing with soil is that it drains that water, so it just doesn't get moldy. Yeah, and then the roots, there's going to be roots that come out, and these roots will bind themselves to the soil, so it's easy to cut, it's easy to, So I use coconut coir, and I can find coconut coir in a pet shop. In pet shops, they use it for the lizards and things like that. If you have, it's basic coconut coir is the coconut. You open the coconut, and all that fiber that they have, they just grind it, and that's what it is. It's like a peat moss, or very simple to do. Water, you have to water these things at least twice a day, depending on your environment. If you live in a place that is very dry, you probably have to keep an eye and do it 3 times a day. And you just do a spray. Just get a sprayer and just spray it. That's all you need. Okay, you don't have to soak it in water, because then it will get moldy. Temperature and ventilation. If it's too cold, it won't germinate. Nothing germinates when it's cold. Actually, you don't want to be cold. You just want to go, curl yourself when it's cold. So just the seed does the same thing. It doesn't want to germinate when it's cold. So it needs to be a temperature of, 70, around 70 or above to germinate. The warmer it is, the faster it would germinate. Okay. Ventilation. It's good that it's in a place that is not stuffy, and because it really it gets moldy if there's no ventilation. So, in my case over there, it's a big area. But if I had a room, which I had a grow room here, and we had hydroponics and all these things. We were growing lettuce and all these things in the hydroponic. and I was growing wheatgrass there, if I didn't have a fan, I left the fan on. If I didn't have a fan with ventilation, it would get moldy. Sunlight. You should not put it directly on the sunlight. For example, once it starts growing, you should move it out from the direct sunlight exposure, okay?
Can you use grow lights for it?
Yes, you can use grow lights. Anti-mold supplements, I already talked about them, which is, best, easier, it's hydrogen peroxide. Very easy. You could actually use it for the water that from the beginning of the stage. I'm just gonna talk about that in a minute here. You need a tray. You could buy these trays in any local hardware store to grow. So it's just a tray. So you could put them in a tray, or you could put it in a plate, or whatever you decide. Now you would need a juicer. That is the key, the juicer. In order to extract this juice, you need a juicer. Now, unfortunately, this month I don't have the program going, but what I typically do is I buy these juicers for us here, and I use them for a couple months, and then I sell them at a cheaper price than they cost me because I already used them. And these type of juicers have like 10-year warranty, 15-year warranty, so they're really good. I use Samsung brand here because my experience being that if they get damaged, I call and I can send them and I can get a new one with they never ask me questions. They just say what's wrong. They try to troubleshoot it for a second or two, and then they just, we'll send you another one. So that I like. So if you decide to buy one of these things, just be aware that you have that ability to call in every time something breaks. Call in and they'll send you a new one. Don't feel like the world is ending. You lost your investment. Now these juicers are masticating juicers. So basically it's like masticating something. So they kind of get all the juice out, and you just have the fiber out that you throw away. So these are good juicers. There's also hand juicers, which are a little bit cheaper. And then you just do the workout and you could do it. But it's very powerful. It's something that I say you should probably invest on. And if not, this is probably the most important supplement that if you want to buy anything, this is what I would say suggest that you spend your dime with. A good juicer. Because, having a good juicer at home is a good thing. Okay, now let's go to the dining area. I'm going to show you the process of how to do the wheatgrass. The process is very simple. Is everyone here? I'm going to give you this is what the seed will look like. This is how it looks. This is red hard. This is red hard winter wheat. Huh? Yes. Yeah, we have everything we use. It's available. We buy in big quantities. So you could see it. So this is if you've never seen wheat, it's look like rice or. So this is where you start. And again, it should be red hard winter wheat is the easiest one to try. I tried white winter wheat, and it's workable, but it's so depending on the environment and the climate and so many things that you have to control that I say why bother, because this is very hardy and very easy to sprout. Okay. Yes. So the first part of the process is to allow that seed to germinate. In order for the seed to germinate, it's very interesting. All these seeds, they last a long time. But if you're going to have it for a really, really long time, because you say, you know what, I started doing my wheatgrass, but now I just don't have the time and I don't want to use it, but I don't want to lose it. Just put it in the freezer. It will store there forever.
Like flaxseed.
Yeah.
Because they have an oil in them. And
Yeah.
it could go rancid.
Yeah, these things last a long, long, long time. Long time. But they last a long, long time. But the reason I put it, someplace cold is just to avoid mold to come into them. Because I had stored them in different places in the building here. And then they look normal to me. Looks like a seed. I go and try to grow it. And it starts growing, sprouts. And in the middle of the process, I see all these mold. Like, what happened? And then I try it again, and I try to change the environment. And it's just mold. Well, the seed had mold in it. So it didn't have the strength to overcome the mold. So just keep it in a cool place so that you don't get that mold. Nothing humid. Now, what you do is the seed in itself has a germ inside, and when water hits it, it activates its own process to germinate. It's just an amazing thing. And I said the nutrients are in the seed, but right now the nutrients are not here. I have no idea how this works. It's just a miracle of God. Right now you could eat this and you don't have the benefits of when it sprouts. When it starts sprouting, incredibly enough, it has so much minerals and nutrients that are not here right now. I just don't know where they come from. Tell you the truth, it just surprises me. So basically what I do is, for a tray like this, which is what you would find in your hardware store, if you're going to use a tray like this, you would use 1.5 cups of seeds. So this is what I have, 1.5 cups. That much. And this should last you for at least 10 ounces. So that's, if you do 1 ounce a day, it will be 10 days. And it will take, the whole process takes around 10 to 12 days. From when you put water in it until you cut it and drink it. Around there. So basically I would cover it on water for 8 hours. You could leave it up to 12 hours and it still work, but 8 hours. Yeah, just up to the top. You just want to cover as much water as you can. I would say work with the nights. So you leave it overnight, and in the morning, the only thing you need to do is just drain the water. And you drain the water, and you have to have like a strainer. You could put them in a strainer. I use one of the metal strainers. I bought it in Walmart for like $5, $4 or $5. So it's cheap. So you put it in a strainer, and now you rinse it for 2 days. That's what I do. I rinse it for 2 days. So basically, I rinse it in the morning and in the evening. So before you go to work, you rinse it. Just leave it so it's moist, but it's not soaked in water. And then in the evening, when you come from work or before you go to bed, you rinse it again and just let it, don't let it soak. Don't be soaked, because then it just gets bad. After the 2 days, you'll start seeing the shoots coming out. Once you start seeing the shoots coming out, it's ready to be planted. Now, I have these nice trays that I use that were here in this place when I got here. So I like them because I can cut very easily, right? That's the benefit of having a nursing home. Before you cut here. No. Huh?
You can buy them also.
You could probably buy them anyways, if you prefer them than this. I had people that, if they were doing wheatgrass for 2 or 3 people, they prefer this because you could do more here. And if you're going to do something like this, it will be two cups for something like this. Of the seeds. Of the seeds. Yeah. This is 1.5 cups, I think. 1.5 cups, You have to play depending on your. These things you have to learn by experience. But I'm just giving you my experience. So you will cover them with soil. I need to take this out because this thing germinated. You see, this seed, this is buckwheat. This was in the garage for a long time, for more than a year. And for more, it just didn't germinate. It's just full of probably mold or something. It just didn't germinate. So this is fresh sunflower, and it's already, in less time it's germinating and growing. So you put the coconut coir. And again, I prefer coconut coir because it kind of drains the water out and it just doesn't leave that moisture, so much moisture in the seed. But you could use regular soil and it will be fine. Remember, the soil is not the important thing. It doesn't get nutrients from the soil. Or you could put it here. I had it here this last month and it was growing fine. I just had to go on vacation and didn't take care of it. But you put the coconut coir or the soil, and then you spread it out, completely out. Try not to have any patches empty, everything spread out. Once you do that, I would cover it like I'm covering it now. Look how it looks. You see if I have one here. So you would need 2 trays. Look at this one here. This is how I plant after I soaked it and rinsed it for 2 days. I spread it out and then I cover it. And I put another tray on top of it this way. Why would I put it on top of the seed? The reason is that if you don't do that, let me show you another one here. They're actually growing pretty good. Oh, here. Let me show you what happens if you don't put the tray like this. You see this one. Do you see that it's very uneven? Uh-huh. It's just growing. Some parts are growing bigger than the other. You see? When you apply the pressure here, you don't allow them to grow one side bigger than the other. You apply the pressure and they start growing more uniformly. So things you learn while you're doing these things. Where do I have this here? So it's good to put it like this. And once you start getting the once you start getting them to a point like this now, you see that they're coming up, then you uncover them. Now, another reason why you want to cover them is that you don't want them to get sunlight at this point. You want them to grow, and the seed will grow stronger when it doesn't have the sunlight. As soon as it gets sunlight, it gets lazy. Because it starts producing chlorophyll and it doesn't want to really grow really fast. So you want it to grow fast, you cover them for a couple of days. Don't let them get any sunlight. Okay, they'll grow. Look at they're uncovering this by themselves. So now I have to take them out. You see? Yeah, it has a flat top. And they'll grow. So you let them go like this, and you don't want them to get direct sunlight. Remember that, because if you get some direct sunlight, they get too green. I don't want them to get green right now. Once they're higher, let's say they're halfway, we probably would say 4 inches, 4 to 5 inches. Then you put them in the sun. Just put them in the direct sunlight, and they'll grow and get green and beautiful, like you're gonna see it next week when you start using them. What I would do then, you get a sprayer. You don't have to get a sprayer like this. I mean, I do so many of them that this is very convenient. But this will be very awkward in your kitchen or wherever you're growing it. So you don't have to get something like this. But you could get a sprayer, and just spray them. Okay, and it's always good to have them moist. Let me show you. Just kind of damp. Just you could pass probably your hand there, and you can see. That's They keep them moist, not damp. That the control climate here helps, by the way. Once you start doing it on your own, you're gonna learn that the more controlled the climate you can get, the better it is.
Maybe
but again,
what's the difference between moist and damp then? If it's moist,
it's just
just that the top is moist, but that the soil is not.
It's not damp. It's not just all soggy. Yes. Again, it will take at least probably like 10 to 12 days from where I put the water in. I soak them in water till the time I'm cutting it. Now, at the time of cutting them, I don't have any big ones yet. At the time of cutting them, you want to get the most out of them. So you want to just cut from the bottom of them. Cut as much as you can. You got to test how much is going to be an ounce for you. I already kind of have an idea, but you have to experiment at home how much would be an ounce. And rinse it. Just go wash because even though I don't see mold, and but you never know. I had a guy here that he came here with cancer, and he was doing the wheatgrass treatment, and he was really really alive, really these type of persons that he was the center of the universe. And I said, let me cut the wheatgrass for you because I had it here in the pool area, and it was getting a little bit of mold. Not too bad, but it was getting a little bit of mold. But he's like, don't worry. Anyways, he cut it himself, and he didn't know, so he cut all the mold with it. So then he juiced it, and he said, no, I drink everything, and I drink even more. Okay. Couple hours later, I didn't know what he had done. He's crying and screaming, like he's giving birth in his bed. Now, he's giving birth. I'm telling you, he's like, he was shaking. Can you imagine? I'm just like freaking out. What happened? What's going on? I didn't understand what was going on. And he was screaming, and then all of a sudden it would stop, and then he talked, and gave me a lot of stories. And then all of a sudden it will come, the contraction will come, and like, and I didn't know what to do. So we pray. I pray with him and pray, and I didn't know what. I'm telling you, I didn't know what to do with him. And he was telling me, because when he came, he had 9 tumors that they were like this big, all over the place up to here. And they were going to continue testing. They were going to do a thermography, and and they were going to test up, all the way up here. But then he said that's when he decided to come. So he missed that test, and he would go in. Every time he go to the bathroom and urinate, it was just blood. So he's telling me that in a matter of 2 weeks, he's already, he sees his urine, he doesn't see any blood. So he was happy, but again, the contraction would come, and I just didn't know what to do. So then I said, so what happened? Tell me the day exactly what you did today. And he started telling me. And then he tells me, and then I cut the wheatgrass, and I drank the wheatgrass and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, could it be the wheatgrass? Yeah, that wheatgrass is just the worst, he said. And I was like, Started thinking, and then he says, there was a little bit of fungus, and I cut it through, and I just, and do you clean it? And he says, no, I didn't clean it. I go, oh, okay. So I ran to the kitchen, got some charcoal, water, and he started drinking charcoal and water in a matter of like 5 minutes. Contraction stopped. He was happy. He was running around again, and good story. Good end of the story. So make sure you rinse these things. No matter I don't see the fungus because it's really good climate here. You never know. So anybody has questions? Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
After you cut it, can you expect it to grow, or is that essentially like a...
It will grow again, just like when you cut grass, you mow the lawn. It will grow, but it loses half of its nutritional value. So it's better. What I would do is buy a couple trays. They're really cheap. And while I'm in probably half of one, I start the other. Or I finish one and I start the other, depending on your circumstances.
Is that because it's not getting anything like fertilizer food? So if you use something that was a balanced feed, could you extend it a little?
There's two train of thoughts here. There's people that really think that, yeah, you could fertilize it a little bit and get something out of it. I say don't waste the time. I mean, the pound is $3. Just don't waste the time to try to do that. It's just not worth it.
You change soil and everything, right?
Yes.
Dump off the spray, take everything out, put everything, start it all over again.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how we recommend it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
What happened to the man with all the tumors? Did you ever hear anything?
He's still alive. He's still alive. He had a big problem with salads, and he needed a lot of salads. If you have cancer, I would say you should live on salad alone. If I had cancer, that's what I would do. I would get very friendly with salad. But he hated the salad. Yes.
Have you tried any other type of seed?
Um,
Than just wheat, I mean, chia or
yes.
sesame seeds, are really good.
Yes. Sunflower seeds are like the second best. That's kind of a microgreen. It's we have it here too. We're growing it here. Buckwheat is very easy to grow. Very easy to grow. Beets are good too. Radishes is good too.
And the juice tastes different. It tastes like that vegetable then?
Well, I don't juice them. Those I eat them. But that's a class that Lily's gonna give, and she'll go into deep on microgreens and sprouting. But yeah, barley would be barley grass. I tried kamut also and spelt. They're really good for juicing, for juicing, getting nutrients. But yeah, you should try. I mean, I would love to expand this, but I need somebody to take over the production of it. But I like to, because this is yours. Nobody has touched it. No chemicals, no anything. It's yours, and it's pure nutrition. So I mean, this gets like 90% of nutrients to sell. I mean, 90% of the nutrients that you cut here and drink, they're all going to your cells. Compared to, for example, a lettuce, where you're getting probably 50% of the nutrients of that lettuce once you cut it and you eat it. If you cook the food, you don't get any nutrients out of it. So you're talking that this is pure going into your cells, nutrients. It's just the best. You cannot get better than these things. Or microgreens too, or sprouts. So the most nutritions that I can find. There's a lady in California.
I like peas too.
Peas are good. Pea shoots are really good and very healthy too. There's a lady in California that just lives on sprouts. And she's probably like 80 something and looks like 40. I mean, it's just her skin and everything. Because this is all enzymes. You see, your body has not to produce any enzyme to digest. It's all here. And the most expensive process that your body has to do is to produce enzymes for digestion. So if you don't have to produce enzymes, they're all here. It's the fountain of youth. So, yes.
And do you need a special juicer?
Yes. Yes, you should have a wheatgrass juicer or a masticating juicer. Slow masticating juicer. Yes, you do have to have a special juicer. But again, if you're going to invest on anything, any supplement, anything, this is what you invest in, a juicer. Because I mean, I have people that they have gone on juicing fast. Because if you have, some of you are in lemon fast. Most of you are in lemon fast today. But I have had people that are very under fat. They don't have enough fat, enough resources, so I don't put them on a lemon fast. I put them on a juice fast. And they're underweight and they gain weight in a juice fast. They're getting nutrients. I didn't believe it until I've seen it and tested it many, many times, and then I'm a believer. But it's just amazing. The body gets nutrients. Now, if you need me to go down on weight, it will also get you down on weight. But it's just getting nutrients into you in a very fast way. Any other questions? Mm-hmm. Yes.
You said that to help us reduce the chance of mold growing, you use hydrogen peroxide.
Yes.
Yeah.
How much of it do you use? Do you dilute it in some?
So you know what I would do? Look, what I do, depending on the time. Right now I'm not using hydrogen peroxide. But what I do is when I put the seeds in the water, I put like a little, one of those caps of hydrogen peroxide in the water. And then if I see that still the environment is not cooperating with me, then I'll just take the hydrogen peroxide. I buy the 89-cent bottle and I just put a sprayer in it. And while I'm spraying water, I spray some of it, in it. Not to let it grow. That was your question. That's a good question to ask because you're going to experience that. And you have to understand your environment at home because sometimes it's hotter or humid and you got to play with that. So you're going to try it here. So you're going to see the effects on you. I pumped up wheatgrass one time, and there was this lady that came, and she said she felt tired all the time, and then she drank this, and she's like, oh, I got all this energy. I just laughed because it was more in her brain, I think. But yeah, she loved it. Especially she had problems in her stomach and with digestion, and she felt so good, acidity problems. So.
They go in the morning so you can sleep.
Huh?
So they go in the morning so you can sleep.
Yeah. I mean, can you see the benefit of a tool like this? That it's so powerful in nutrients, costs you so little, and it just doesn't take that much time. Because the only thing you need to be concerned is that you need to rinse it twice a day, and that doesn't take that long for one tray. If you have a production like this. There's Daniel that came in Florida. His business is just selling this to people that can't do this in the evening and in the morning.
A shot in Jamba juice could be probably $2. And you can consider that
If you go to Whole Foods, it's $4 per shot.
be a pound of the seeds. So
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah.
You can start a little kiosk.
Yes.
Just selling your
Yes.
wheatgrass shots.
The wheatgrass shot. Yeah, certainly. And yeah, and it's better if you grow it yourself, always.
Now, if you do a wheatgrass implant,
Mm-hmm. Start doing it with water. Start doing it with water. Can you do me a favor? Could you go to the store and get a a syringe, so you can see how it looks.
Start doing it, what is it?
Start mixing it with water, okay, at first.
Okay.
And then go up from 2 ounces up to 4
So if you have 2 ounces of wheatgrass, you put 2 ounces
of water.
So
Mhm.
half and half, 50-50, and gradually get up to 4. And are they supposed to retain it overnight or as long as?
No, as long as they can.
As long as they can.
And as long as they can. And Lily went to look for the syringe so you could see it. Because, again, it's not an enema that we want. It's not an enema. We want it to go, when it goes in, we want it to stay in that entrance or exit to the anus because that's where the portal vein is. And we want to go straight to the bloodstream right there. We don't want a colon cleanse. Okay? And that's very important. And it also repairs, it helps repairs the any inflammation in the colon and things like that.
Go ahead.
Is this strictly an indoor operation, or is there some way that?
You could do it outdoor.
Spring or the summer, you could move it outdoors?
Yeah.
And if so, what about insects? Is that a problem?
Yeah, you get insects outside
Right, so you would.
if there's no ventilation.
You would just make sure you washed it very.
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
If you have something like this, couldn't you just buy one of those, I don't know what the technical name, but it's one of those nets that
Yeah.
you put over it and then
Mm-hmm.
only lift it when you're going to water it.
Yeah.
Might be good sense.
Yep. There's two boxes. There's 2 boxes that are closed in the corner of the store to the right. So so it's very simple, I think. You should give it a try. I should show you. There was he always texts me. Seaside. Remember Seaside, Debbie?
I do.
He texts me. He texts me a picture of let me see if I can show it to you guys. Here they are. I mean, you would never think that yeah, that's it. That's the syringe. Never seen it, right?
Not this kind.
Okay, here's the syringe. Oh, this one is open. It's usually. Yeah, no, this is not good. This one is not good. But anyways, this is open.
Okay.
Anyways, here's what it looks.
So
You could pass it over. Yeah, I can open it because I'm not gonna use it because it's just. Yeah,
demonstration purposes. only.
it's demonstration purposes. So this is for demonstration. You even have a bug in it. So, yeah, you just would get it. You would have to put some coconut oil or some type of oil, obviously.
So you could kind of administer this yourself if you were so
Yes.
inclined.
Yes. Look, these people. They came in. One of these kids is type 1, used to be type 1 diabetic. Look at them doing already in a matter of less than a month. They're already doing their own wheatgrass. Look at this. So if they could do it, anybody can do this, okay? Look how nice it looks. You see?
It looks really nice.
Yeah, really nice.
It's off now.
Warm the water first.
Huh?
Do you warm the water first for the implant beads?
Yes, a little bit.
They got wheatgrass. Look at them.
Could you bring it for the, just hold it over here for the camera. Just touch it right there. Yeah.
So his A1C is 5.9. That's pretty good. That's normal? No, you just came from the doctor. They want me to change their program because they want to eat more stuff. So, gotta call them.
Cuando se pone tiene que estar llena.
De 2 a 4 onzas, sí, el puro jugo con agua. Lo mezclas con agua al principio y después entonces le vas quitando el agua poquito a poquito, hasta que tu cuerpo se adapte.
Pero este es por
Sí, como un enema. Ujú.
So, le pongo una y una.
Dos y dos. Empieza con dos y dos. Hasta llegar a cuatro. Y después le pones tres y una. Y después cuatro completa. De jugo. Ujú. So, starting on probably Monday, you're going to start probably like at 10:30. Basically, the wheatgrass you'll pick up one of these trays. You'll cut it for you, for yourself, whatever you're going to use. You're going to rinse it, and you're going to put it through the machine and do it, and just go through the experience.
The first times, you should add a little bit of water.
Yeah, if you never take it,
If you have some wheatgrass juice, you should add a little bit of water, just because this is very potent and some people start feeling like the detoxification right away.
but you already went for a detox, so I'm not concerned, but just in case. It doesn't taste bad either.
No, it's sweet.
It tastes good, yeah.
Along and there's some grass in your mouth. And then you can start doing
Yeah. Any questions? Okay. Excellent. Let's take a break.